All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Randy Lindsay. I'm here to present MT4Professional's live market scanner live Q&A session. If you can hear my voice and see my screen, let me know. Give me a shout out in the chat box. And I'll get on with today's presentation. Testing sounds good. Thank you very much, Terrence. I appreciate that. All right, let's get going. I want to make sure everyone here knows that we're here for educational purposes only, that MT4Professional and Resilient Traders are not investment advisory providers, so we cannot give you specific trading advice. But what we can do is teach and train you how to use our platform on the MT4 and MT5 platforms as well. And we can answer all of your questions with regards to our software. Trading futures, stocks, spot currencies, cryptocurrencies have a large potential for reward, but it also has a large potential for risk. You must be aware of the risks involved and be willing to accept them in order to trade in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so make sure that you get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading in any of these markets. Don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Make sure that you set up and trade all of your strategies in a simulated account before you start trading it in live money. Hello, everyone. I am Randy Lindsay. I am your trade coach for today and operations director of MT4Professional and Resilient Traders. Joining me today is Claudio Cardinal. He is our product development director and technology guru here at the company. MT4Professional is his software, and we are doing everything we can to promote it and make sure that everyone gets a copy of it. But I want to make sure that we're here to answer your questions. So if you have questions with regards to the presentation or the software, make sure you ask during the presentation. We're going to talk about a scanner. We're going to talk about what a market scanner is, what you should expect from one. We're going to give you a live demonstration of the MT4Professional platform itself. And we're going to make a very special offer if you stick around to the end of the presentation today, if you want to get started using the software. And of course, Q&A is available throughout today's presentation. So what is a market scanner and what is MT4Professional? Well, if you look at all the available symbols that you have on your MT4 or MT5 platform, that's about 630 different combinations. That's 54x pairs, 20 CFDs, 9 different time frames, and that's just on MT4 alone. So do you think that you can scan through all those potential possibilities and find every trade opportunity? Chances are you can't, like most people. So trading with different instruments is a must in today's environment because the fact of trading uncorrelated or decorrelated instruments is a way to remove uncertainty in the market. It's like balancing out your portfolio. It removes uncertainty of instruments and it diversifies your portfolio at the same time. So a perfect solution for that is an automated market scanner. Market scanner is something that automatically goes through and scans your entire symbol universe for situations that meet your criteria. If you're using custom rules, custom indicators, or even standard indicators, you should be able to scan through the symbol lists or the instruments you're interested in on any time frame and analyze it based upon your rule set. Okay, it's not a signal provider, but it's a tool. It allows you to analyze and set up your strategies the way you use them to give you the indications that you want. Let's go through a simple example of what we consider a good or a standard market scanner. Using multiple time frames and a symbol list, we want to be able to get from a scanner something that tells us whether it's bullish or bearish. A bullish indication could be like a color red, or bearish would be like a color green. Did I say that opposite? No, bullish would be green and bearish would be red. I think I said that backwards. And the example of that would be, say, a moving average cross. The cross of two moving averages is probably the most popular indication of a trend change because you have a fast moving average and a slow moving average. And if one crosses the other, you get an indication of a trend change. And that's what most people use. So if we use a 15 period moving average with a 30 period moving average as an example, a bullish cross would be when the fast moving average, the 15, crosses above the 30 period slow moving average. I would want the sell to turn green if that occurs. And if the fast moving average crosses under the 30 slow moving average, I want it to turn red. So looking at the right, I can very quickly see bullish or bearish trends on at least 2 different time frames across multiple instruments. That's what a scanner should be doing. Now, multiple time frames. Why would you be interested in looking at multiple time frames? Well, did you know that if you trade using multiple time frames, that you have a higher probability of a profitable trade? Well, this is due to correlation. It's just one of the advantages of using multiple time frame technical analysis. Traditionally on MT4, this is difficult to do. Even on MT5, it's very hard to do multiple time frame analysis on instruments without having to memorize or look at times or set markers and things like that. So you want something that should be easy to do, because trading and checking and in line with the longer term trend gives you a higher probability lower risk trade entrance. If you look at the 4-hour chart that's listed here and the corresponding 1-hour chart under it, you'll see the 4-hour time frame is trending much longer over the period of time with only minimal corrections, while the shorter time frames are correcting a lot more. And if you look at the 15-minute relative to that 4-hour, then you're seeing a lot of different corrections throughout that. So the chances of you getting kicked out of a trade are high. But if you trade only in the direction of the longer term trend, that greatly increases your probability of success. So if we had a scanner that could search for setups based upon your own rules, verified by multiple time frame technical analysis, then that too would be an extremely valuable tool, wouldn't you say? So our problem was we couldn't find one on MT4 or MT5. As professional traders, we looked for scanners that met these criteria, but we didn't find any. Well, we found a few, but they were either too complex to configure. That means it meant high programming skills required. They were unstable, or just a single tool that really didn't integrate with the entire system, or they didn't work with hardly any of the available indicators that were there, and lots more issues that we came across. So what was our solution? We came up with MT4Professional Scanner. The MT4Professional Scanner is now the #1 market scanner on both MT4 and MT5, and it allows you to instantly scan the entire market universe that you have set up to match all of your unique criteria and rules. When you find a good setup, MT4Professional can alert you to the fact, and it can enhance your ability to make a better trade by giving you multiple time frame technical analysis. Like I said earlier, it's not really easy to do on MT4 or MT5, but we make it easy for you. So stay tuned. During today's demonstration, I'll show you exactly how well and how easily you can use this to find the solutions. But I want to run a quick poll real quick to find out how the market scanner can benefit you. Is it by less risk of missing trades? Is it by less time wasted searching for trade setups? Is it better chance of finding high probability trades, or you just don't know? You don't know what a market scanner is still, or you don't understand it. You just don't know. So pick the one that best identifies your benefit you would find from that, and click the submit button. And once a certain percentage of participants fill out the box, Claudia will close the poll and we'll move on to the next poll. The next poll, once we get there, we're going to be looking at scanner configurations like moving average crosses or MACD, relative strength, stochastics, and so forth. So we've got two majority answers. 1, better chance of finding high probability trades. A, number 1. Less time wasted searching for trade setups. Absolutely. So I hear you, absolutely. So let's go to the next poll here. Next poll is going to be on scanner configuration. So that way, when I go into the live screen, you'll be able to, I'll be able to know what you are most interested in. So of the ones listed, which configuration most interests you? If you have one that's not listed on this page, just click the other, and then give us input in the either the chat or the questions pane, and we'll be glad to demonstrate that for you. And once we get the poll answers back, I'll go right into the live demonstration. All right, don't be shy. Everybody needs to participate. Great. EMA and price and moving average crossover are the 2 most popular ones, and those are the 2 that looks like the highest probability for pick. We'll also go and quickly go through and show you the MACD and signal and the Alligator as well. And whoever submitted the information for the other, make sure you put your details in the chat box so that I can demonstrate that for you. Let me pull up my MT4 platform and get it going. First few things I'm going to show you are the differences between MT4 and MT4 Professional. Standard MT4 allows you to use your charts, and you can go through and change symbols by dragging and dropping a symbol onto a chart, doing it this way. You can change time frames by clicking on a chart and clicking the time frame itself, or you can go through and change things, but like templates. So if you go through and pull up a template from other locations, you can do that all directly on the screen. But notice what happened. I don't know what the previous screen was, and there's no way of going back unless I knew what the previous template was. One really great feature of MT4 Professional is that it's cloud-based, and so it remembers all of your setups. So it knows that, oh, I wanted 3 charts, and I wanted them to be charts of whatever symbol that I clicked on. So if I were to click on any one symbol over here on the left, say the pound dollar, then it will automatically change all of the symbols to the pound dollar, and it will automatically update the templates so that the templates are all what I want them to be. Now, they can be different templates, absolutely, but I want to make sure that you understand that these are set up as configurations. So let's look at this configuration panel over here. You can see on the right, we have the 3 charts. One chart is much larger than the other 3. If I were to change my window size, notice the size of every window changes with it. I can make it large or small, and it automatically updates to the proper scale. That's a very nice feature. Also notice the crosshair on the screen. This is for multiple time frame technical analysis. So when I look at time and price on my 15-minute chart, then I can go over and see on the 30 or the hourly chart the exact same point and position. So gone are the days that you're trying to remember where this was so that you can line it up to see where your actual entry point was. Gone are the days also of being able to miss these perfect price action failure setups where you have a great buy-in with a very low risk entry point. So you're looking at multiple timeframes to help you see these crossover points and the setups. All right, so let's look at the first example. We're going to look at what's on the screen now. This is the EMA and price. We're looking at a 15-period exponential moving average coupled with price. If price, as it is right here, is greater than the 15-period EMA, then I want my scanner to give me a bullish indication. We'll do that by a bright green cell. You can see on the 30-minute time frame, price is greater than that EMA. It's also green. And the hourly is greater than that same EMA, so it is also green. The idea is to help us to see when these all come aligned. So you want to trade whenever you've got green, green, green. You want to always be in the green direction. You don't want to be taking a red trade when you've got green bullishness there. It's that simple. Okay. So let's look at the configuration to see how we can set that up. If you click the edit button, that'll open up whatever configuration that you've got. On the right-hand side, you can see the setup for the charts. Just simply click it and you can see the layout of the charts. You can scan or scale to change the size of these, move them around wherever you want to, add a new one if you want. Make sure that you change the time frame. Select the template that you want. These are the EMA and price template that I have set up here. Of course, if you have your own templates created, click the plus sign and you'll be able to go to the menu of all of the templates available on your MT4 or MT5 platform. And you can select any of these templates to use as a setup for you. Okay. If you don't like the way these are set up, you can click the tile chart windows. I want to add 2 more charts, and then I'm going to tile them. So now I have a 2x3 set of charts laid out. And of course, the default charts that came in are set up as default hourly, but you can change them to whatever time frame that you want, move them around, or set them up any way that you like. If you want to start everything over, just click the clear button and then just simply one, and see, notice how it just self configures those just the way, any way that you like to. So you can set them up in any row, column formation, horizontal or vertical. I'll click the cancel button. I don't want to change anything. Over on the left-hand side is your scanner configuration panel. Here you can change your symbol list or you can change your scanner configurations. Simple click and you have the choice of doing one or the other. If you look at the scanner configuration, these are the rules that the algorithm follows in order to change the color of the columns. The main color rule is a rule set that's based upon the interaction of price with my 15-period exponential moving average. Whenever price is greater than the 15 period, I want the output to be green. Of course, I can just pull down menus, select whatever color I want, or I can select whatever indicator I want. If the indicator, these are the ones I've already set up, but if you want to set up a new indicator, just simply click the plus sign, choose any indicator from the standard indicator libraries. These are all of the categories, and then these are the indicators available in that category. So I can select a moving 15, any moving average. If I use that indicator, then I can set it up. This one is set by default to a 15-period simple moving average based upon the close of price. If I wanted to make it exponential, all I have to do is just simply change it and then insert it. I've already got it in there, so I'm not going to worry about putting this one in. That's how simple and easy it is. Everything is pull down menu based. You don't have to have any programming skills needed in order to set up your scan criteria. If you wanted to use stochastics, then you go into your oscillators, you select your stochastics, and then you use the stochastics based upon whatever setups and inputs that you want to use. If you're looking for trends, then you're looking for price at a current price or price at a previous price. Or if you're looking at relative strength, you want to check the slope of your relative strength. Then you simply look at the indicator itself. Where is that RSI indicator? I forget. Is it an oscillator? There it is. So you use the price, but if you're looking at the shift value, you want to see the shift is the previous bar, which is number 2, would be greater than the current bar, which is number 1. That's all you do. So you'd have 2 of these indicators loaded, RSI 2 and RSI 1, and then you'd want to make sure that RSI 2 is greater than RSI 1, And if that's the case, it's in a down slope because your previous price is bigger than your current price, so it's sloping down. And vice versa, if 1 is greater than 2, then it's sloping up. It's very, very easy math to do if you follow that. If you ever need any help, then we are here to help you get that set up. So this first condition is evaluated first. If it's not correct or true, if this price is not greater than the 15, then it's going to move to the next condition. So it's an or setup. This is true or this is true. Now, if you have an and condition and you want to include some additional indicators, then click this plus button, and that gives you an additional and operator. So if price is greater than the moving average 15, and I also want to check something else, like I want the relative strength to be rising. I want the previous relative strength value to be greater than the current relative strength. You can do that too. It's very, very easy to do and set up in MT4Professional. Once you have your rules established, you apply that rule with a simple name to any time frame that you want to analyze it on. So right now, the main color rule, which is price and moving average, is applied to a 15-period moving average. If you want to see the output of the indicator that you're using, then select the indicator that you want to see the output for and give it a specific name. The name that you put here is by default the period you're using. You don't have to use this, and you don't have to show the output. But if you do select an indicator for an output, the value of the indicator will be displayed in the cell along with the color. The size value identifies and sets the physical dimensions of this window. By default, it's automatic, but if you need it to go bigger or smaller, then you can select the column that applies to yours, especially if you're using more than 2 or 3 multiple time frames. You want to make this window a little bit bigger. If you want to be notified whenever any of these conditions are met, then simply click the real-time notifications box right here. And if you want to receive SMS notifications via your cell phone, then set your phone up here in the members area by clicking this link, and it'll automatically take you to your MT4Professional members area where you can set and verify your phone number. One word of caution, if you are using a small or short time frame, then these updates will occur frequently and you will receive a lot of messages. So make sure that you have it set the way that you want, and you can easily turn this on or off anytime that you want to in order to see these signals and setups. All right, that's all you have to do. Make sure you give your configuration a name, give it a description that helps you to understand it and to know exactly what this configuration does, and if there are any timeframes associated with it. I see the question, Fred. Does it mean that I can have my strategy as a template, then it will tell me whether to go long or short? Sort of. You can take your strategy, put it in as a color rule, a rule set in here, and whenever that is established, then it can give you a real-time notification whether it's long, which is green, or short, which is red. So it'll signal based upon the information that you give it, whatever your strategy is, on whatever symbol list that you've defined it to be. Now, the name and the description will show up here on your configuration panel. So notice that these are the ones that I've created. When you first start MT4Professional, you won't have any in this area because you haven't created any. What you will have are the presets. The presets are the examples that we provide you that you can use as examples to set up any of your own configurations. So to start your own, The first thing you can do with any of these is that you can load them. See, notice the edit button is grayed out because you can't change any of the presets. These are like templates that you can use. You can load them to look at them to see what they are, and if you like them, you can use it. But in order to edit or create or change them to your own, then you have to create your own custom configuration. So you click this button down here on the bottom, and then it says, do you want to start from an existing configuration? So these are all the ones that I've already created. So I can choose any one that I've already created as a copy, and it'll duplicate it for me. Or you can select any of the example presets to use as a value, and it will duplicate all of the rules, the color rules, the symbol lists, everything into the current one. All you have to do is just change a few things to make it fit you specifically. If you don't want to start from any example, just say no, and it will allow you to start from a blank configuration. If you make any changes to your setups or your configurations, then make sure you click the Save button to save any of your work. Once it's saved, it's automatically saved out to the cloud, and you can use it, this same configuration, from any other computer or any other device that you are using that has access to the cloud. Notice also the button in the bottom right corner is the Share button. If you are working with a group of traders and you want to share the configuration you're using with them, all you have to do is just simply click this button right here. It'll take you to our trader configuration section and allow you to share that configuration with other traders. Let me use this as an example. EMA and price. If I were to click the edit button, click the trader share button, then I can share this configuration now with any other MT4Professional user in the system. Just simply enter the email or the name of the person that you're looking for, and it'll look up any of the people on the list that meet that criteria. You simply click the share button, and it automatically will share this current configuration file with them. And you can do that as often as you like. Pretty simple, pretty easy, and very powerful. Okay, let me see here. Moving average cross. Let me pull up a configuration here and see if I've got a moving average cross. Here it is, SMA cross. Load. Here I've got a 5, 15, hourly, and 4-hour chart setup. And the configuration that I'm using is, let's see what that is, SMA 1530. So it looks like I'm using a 1530 cross as my condition. So I'm looking for the 15 to be greater than the 30, and I'm looking for price to be greater than the 30. So I've got two conditions that I'm checking. So this shows that you can do multiple conditions as a bullish or bearish indication. So if the 15 is under the 30 and price is under the 30, then I've got a strong set down. If it's the opposite, then I have a strong setup up. If neither of these conditions are true, say for example, I've got a 15 over a 30, but price hasn't gotten there yet, then it'll go yellow because neither one of these conditions have been met. See how easy that is to set up and configure? Very, very simple. If you're using any standard symbol, then any of the symbols available from your broker are available over on the left-hand side. All you have to do is just simply select it, hit the right arrow to add it to the current list, which is on the right-hand side. You can clear all of those symbols and start over from scratch. Say if you want only Euro symbols, then this will select every single symbol that's available on the Euro. You select those and push those over. Get rid of the ones that you really don't want to have on the list. And then once you have a list set up that you particularly like, then you can select save and save that list just the way that you like it. If you make any changes, always remember to save it. And then once you save it, then a little check mark will appear here to let you know that you're ready to go. Once you've saved it, then you have to reload the configuration in order for it to update the cloud and to update your charts on the screen. So whenever the red, which is the fast, crosses over the blue, which is the slow, that's a bullish indication. You can see we've been in a bullish setup for quite some time on all 4 of our time frames. The 4-hour is showing a yellow, even though we have a blue. No, this because the red is actually under the blue, but price is greater than the blue. So price is greater than the slow EMA, but the fast EMA has not crossed over yet. So that shows the condition hasn't been met yet for the much longer term period. You can verify that with the other tools. If you have custom indicators that aren't normally on MT4 and you've purchased these indicators, or if you programmed your own indicators, those still work with the MT4Professional. All right, let me show you a good example here. Hawkeye tools are custom indicators that you can purchase and add to your MT4 platform. So if you go through and edit the conditions necessary for them to work, then notice that I have 3 different color rules set up. I have 1 color rule defined for trend, 1 color rule defined for volume, and 1 color defined for momentum or heat map. If I were to edit one, then you can see that the indicator, which is called the Hawkeye Trend and Stops indicator, has specific values associated with it. I'm looking to see if the output of that indicator is greater than 0. It's a simple indicator which turns to a value of 1 if it's true. So if it's true, then the trend value is equal to a output of 1. So if that would be a green value. So if the Hawkeye Trend and Stops output 1 is greater than 0, it's going to be a green trend. The same indicator, but output value 2, if that is ever greater than 0, then I know that I'm in a downtrend. And then output value 3 is neutral, which means it's neither a positive or negative, which means I'm in congestion. So I can test for any of these conditions relative to the 0 to make sure that I'm in a long, short, or congestion or consolidation trend. So if that 1 is greater than 0, I'm bullish. If the 2 value is greater than 0, I'm bearish. And if the 3 value is greater than 0, I'm neutral or congested. You find these values from the indicator itself by looking at your data window. So on your chart, if you select the chart that you'd be interested in, click over under the tools. No, is it view? I think it's view and data window right there. Data window shows you the data of all of the indicators that are currently on your chart. So by moving your mouse over the chart that you're interested in, you'll be able to see the output of the indicators that are on there. Here's the output of the moving average 15 and the moving average 30. If you see the output of your custom indicator there, you will be able to use it on MT4Professional. So let me load this setup on the charts. And as I hover over the window, you'll see that I have the output of the Hawkeye trend as long as a value. So you notice that it's greater than 1. The output of the red trend is 0, and the output of the neutral is 0. So all I'm doing is testing for which one of these values are greater than 0. If one or the other are greater than 0, then I know that I have a bullish trend. The second output that I was looking at on this column here, you can see that I have 3 outputs on the 5-minute. And let me show you that real quick under the configuration. Notice the trend, volume, and heat map. That's 3 separate outputs. Trend is the first one, volume is the second one, and heat map is the third one. On the 15-minute time frame over here, I only have 2. I unchecked the trend. I don't care what the trend is on my higher time frame. I'm interested in the volume and momentum. And on my third or slow time frame, I'm only interested in the volume. So notice I only have one of them ticked, and I only have one output on this column. So very quickly, I can go across to see that volume is starting to weaken on the Swiss and on all the other majors across the US dollar. But the longer term is still very strong on volume. The trend is long, but if I have opposing volume to a long trend, I know that there's a short-term correction coming in, but I need to stay in line with the longer-term trend. New Zealand US dollar just went into a confirmed green, so volume went from red to green. That means it's gone back in line with the longer-term trend. Potential setup or trade opportunity came in. So that's what I'm looking for. I want my algorithm to give me something that identifies a potential trade setup, and then I have every chance in the world to do it. If I have real-time notifications checked, it'll let me know that that occurred, and I'll be ready to go. So check any of your indicators using the data window to make sure the output is presented and you know what the output value is. Then you can check it and verify it. Now let me pull up one configuration just to show you one that you've probably already done. Let's look at the MACD, because in it, the MACD is using the EMA and price. It's using the MACD crossover, which is using the histogram value and the signal line. And I've even thrown in relative strength just to make it a little bit more complicated. So what it's checking for, a strong signal where I've got the MACD histogram greater than the signal, or in this case here it is again, MACD is greater than the signal right there. There. I'm looking for when price is greater than the EMA, and I'm looking for a positive slope coming out of an overbought range on my relative strength. So if that's the criteria I'm looking for, this would be an excellent buy location. Likewise, if you see the histogram cross under the red, like what you see right here, then you also see a downward sloping relative strength, and you see a close under the 15-period EMA. That's a strong sell indication. So over here, we got a strong buy indication. Here we got a strong sell indication. So you can see we could have made some pips there. We could have made 25 pips. And here we could have made another 67 pips just from following the specific rules that we had on that setup. So let's see what that setup configuration does for us here. So a strong signal on the 4-hour time frame is defined by this color rule. That color rule is if my MACD, which is the histogram, the base indicator, has to be less than the MACD signal line. If that's true, and if price is less than my 15-period exponential moving average, and if the previous RSI2 is greater than previous RSI1, which means it's going down, that is a bearish condition. I want to know that's a strong sell signal. If any of these conditions are not true, it will evaluate this condition set. That's the OR operator. MACD has to be greater than signal. The close of price has to be greater than the EMA, and relative strength 2 has to be less than 1, which implies an upward trend. An increasing RSI with a crossover and a positive MACD cross gives me a good, strong buy signal. If there's something wrong with either of these two conditions, it will give me a yellow, indicating it's somewhere in between. It's getting ready to transition, and it might or might not be a setup. So that's as simple as it gets. I mean, you're using pull-down menus to input, to change, to update. And once you get it working, share it with your friends. This is something that you want to be getting out there because it's a strategy that works. And it's a strategy that you have access to if you're using MT4Professional. Jack, can you please tell me with which scan do you have the most success when you're trading? Any of these scans based upon the time frame you're using can be successful. An RSI cross with a MACD, a lot of people, depending upon the strategy you're using, just simply do that same cross that you're looking at. If you're looking for the setup on the MACD to get you in, then you're looking for the cross above or below a 50 or 30 point to get you out. So for example, if you bought in at the cross here, okay, then when it rallies back up and over, then you would be selling once the relative strength got over 70%. Here, if you sold on the cross right here, then you would buy it back when the RSI got back below the 30 on that. So it depends on the strategy you want. Are you using the RSI as a slope to indicate strength, or are you using the RSI as an overbought, oversold indication to get you in and out of profitable positions? It all works, but it's up to you to decide if it's more profitable or not, or more successful or not, because you make or break your own strategy based upon your consistency to apply it and to follow it. I can tell you that a strategy is successful because I am disciplined and I can follow it. If you, on the other hand, are not as disciplined, you will not have as successful strategy. So it's really up to you to make that strategy successful or not. If I were to tell you it works for me, it might not work for you. There are too many things involved. All right, I think someone wanted to see Alligator real quick, and then we gotta end. So Alligator is just a simple tool that allows you to set up a rule based upon 4 or 3 different moving averages. All right, so these 3 different moving averages I have set up on 4 different time frames. And so we are looking at the jaws, we are looking at the lips, and we are looking at the teeth. And so we're looking to see if the lips are greater than both the jaws and the teeth, we have a very good bullish setup. We want to be long. If we see that these lips have gone underneath, in this case over here, the lips are underneath the jaws and the teeth, then we want to be in a downtrend. So this is a simple strategy. This is showing you that the 30 and the hourly in the euro are long, but the 4-hour and daily are short. And you can see that very clearly. Long. This one's short because it hasn't crossed yet. And this one is still short, period. So as soon as this current bar closes, then we will get a crossover condition. Very simple, very easy to use. Okay, so since there aren't any more questions, I'm going to go back to my demonstration and presentation here because I have a very special offer to give to you. We've been here for about a little over 40 minutes. So I want to make sure and give you a very special offer if you're interested in getting started with MT4Professional. First of all, we have a poll I'd like to go through to see if any of the features, to talk about any of the things that I've demonstrated for you, which one is your favorite? Which one did you like the best? The fact that it's a single click integration on any of the charts. The scanner, of course, my rules, my way. Was it the Traders Network? The ability to share and get everybody on the same page at the same time. The fact that it's mobile, that you can take it anywhere or anytime. That's the part I really didn't show a lot of. But if you have it running on your desktop and you need to go out to lunch, you don't have to worry about missing a trade because you can take it with you on your mobile device or on your uh, whatever mobile device you're using. If it's a phone or an iPad or whatever, then you can take it with you. The application doesn't run on those devices. It runs on your desktop, but you can link to them through your browser. And I can show you that here very quickly. Let me go ahead and check that off. I'm sorry, I didn't show you that earlier. But if you go to the real-time scanner section of MT4Professional's website, you can select the account that you have currently running, and you can see a live scanner setup based upon the charts that you're currently using. So if I were to pull that chart up now and then pull up that browser, you can see that my browser itself is exactly the same. And if I interface with this mobile browser, it will set up and configure my desktop based on any click that I use. And it will go and get a picture of it for me and show me the conditions that I'm looking at. So I don't have to be at my desktop 24/7 in order to see, analyze, perform multiple time frame analysis, and even trade, because I can use my mobile trade setup to trade and interface with that directly. So it looks like the multiple time frame analysis and the scanner are the two most popular. Very easy to set up. Yep, so it's hard to select all of them because you can only pick one, but that's good that we can do that as well. So let's go and make a special offer so we can get going with this. Right now, we're looking for MT4Professional complete professional package. This is all the bells and the whistles. We don't hold anything back. $700 would be like the full-time value if you're looking for this on a month-by-month basis. We throw in our exclusive Skype community, which is a value about $200. You get unlimited configuration storage on the cloud, including unlimited emails and push notifications, and you get up to 100 SMS notifications per month included. If you go over this 100 per month, then you do have to pay for any overage associated with your account. All pre-configured presets that I showed you today are included, $399 value. Overall, monthly value is about almost $2,300. Of course, you're not going to pay that. For a limited time, we've made it available for $194 a month. But today, because you're part of my webinar, $97 a month. We make the entire package, the full featured MT4Professional for MT4 or MT5 available to you, $97 a month. You can try it risk-free for 14 days. Use the full package, 14 days. Get started right now. MT4Professional.com/trial. You pay nothing. If you cancel before the 14th day, you pay absolutely nothing. If you don't cancel before the 14th day, it will automatically start charging you for the entire month. And makes it easy for you to continue, because most people absolutely love it and want to continue on. And what this does is it locks in this 50% discount to your account for the life of the subscription. If you have any questions, you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com, and we'll be more than glad to answer any questions that you might have with regards to getting started or getting going for these applications. Now I'll go back into the Q&A session again and answer any specific questions that you might have with regards to the platform or getting started. Let me change this so that you can still see the link and my demonstration at the same time. So MT5, can you use the scans for stocks and index too? If your broker provides the symbols, yes, you can. So if on MT5 you have stock or index uh, symbols, then absolutely you can scan for any of those based upon whatever criteria you have available to you on your MT4 platform or MT5. Absolutely. Yes, right here, I'm just showing examples for Forex because the current broker that I'm using only provides symbols that are Forex symbols. But I do have other platforms set up that have other symbols that are available for me. Absolutely. Are there other questions? No, no more questions? Is there any other configuration real quick, since we have about 7-8 minutes left? Is there any other configuration that you'd like for me to look at? I think someone had mentioned something about stochastics. Let me see if there's already a preset set up for stochastics. Possibly. If not, I can easily throw one in. I'll throw the EMA and price up, and then I'll add some stochastics to it. I just want to do mine so I can edit it. Divergence with the MACD. Does the MACD itself have a divergence value, or you're looking specifically for the MACD divergence? Because that's very simple to test for as well. You're looking for the slope. You're looking for the slope of the MACD relative to the slope of your price. So if the previous price or the current price value is less than the current one, you know that the slope is higher. If the slope of your MACD histogram is going lower, then that's divergence. So exactly, very simple. So it's you're looking at historical price using the shift value. So in this case, you're looking for MACD. And notice the indicator shift. This is where you'd put it exactly where you want it to go. So if you're looking for a previous value, a shift value, okay, the longer the shift, the farther back in time you're looking, to be greater than the current value, then that's going to give you a positive slope. See, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Greater than, it'll be a negative slope. And vice versa. So you would load this same indicator twice, making sure that the indicator shift value is changed. The larger the value, the farther back in time you are looking. You do the same thing with price. You can look at current price, which is the empty bracket, or you can go and look back at price or the close or the open historically and do that. So I think I might have an example of that already set up. Yep. So here I've got I'm looking at relative strength divergence. I'm looking at the divergence of relative strength, the slope 2 versus the slope of 1 right here. And so if 2 is greater than 1, that's bearish. If 2 is less than 1, that's bullish. You can do the same thing with the MACD. MACD gives you a value that can be the current or even the signal line. You can look at these slopes of either of those and compare that to the current price. And that will give you divergence. The best would be looking at an indicator that gives you a divergence value. There are MACD indicators that do provide divergence also. And if you have the output displayed via the data window, if the output provides a divergence indication, then you can just simply test for that directly, which is the easiest of all. Some of the MACD indicators I've noticed do have MACD with divergence as an output. So our relative strength and stochastic are the same as well. Here's one right here with relative strength with divergence output. So you can check for that output and then just simply test off of that. So very easy to use, very simple to set up, and you don't have to program it. Ichimoku. Let me see if I can load that in. Let me throw an Ichimoku on this chart. Default values and outputs. So the output of the Ichimoku on this particular one gives you the Tenkan, Kijun, and Chikou span A and B. So you can see these specific values and you can test for them to see whether price is greater than or less than any of the specified outputs. So you don't have to worry about that. So at the current point right here, you can see that span A, B, and K are all less than the current cloud value, but you can see where the moving averages are relative to that and test for it as well. Okay, see, so by moving your mouse over the screen at the specific price that you are interested in, you can see which values are true or which values are not. And simply by testing the indicator for that value, that'll give you a signal that you can change colors on the scanner. So it's very easy to use as well. Are there any other questions that I can show or demonstrate for you today? If you have modified any of these indicators to give you other outputs, then you can test for whatever that output is using the modification rules that I showed you earlier today. If you do need help configuring them, or if you don't want to do it yourself, then we can do it for you. We have a service that we provide you that enables us and our programmers to set it up and do a custom configuration that meets your criteria, and we're more than glad to do that for you. There's a small fee involved for our time, but it's well worth it if you don't want to spend the time doing it yourself. 2 more minutes for any last minute questions. Again, MT4Professional.com/trial. Get your copy today, $97 a month for an unlimited subscription. It will never change. If you cancel, make sure that you cancel before the 14 days or before the end of the subscription, and you won't be billed any further. And this is locked in for the life of your subscription. If you cancel and then come back, then you'll probably find the price is $194 instead of the current $97 special. And last but not least, you can contact us at support@mt4professional.com for any of your questions or to get started in your account. Abraham wants to know how to trade just a percentage of total money. Okay, that's out of the scope, I think, of what we're specifically looking for. That's more of a specific setup, but If you have a specific amount of money that you're using, most traders trade percentages like 0.1 or 1 or 2% of your account value on that. And so you would set that up based upon the lot size that you are using. Now, MT4Professional doesn't manage that lot size for you. It also doesn't manage your trade for you. You still have to do that yourself. But what MT4Professional will do, it'll set that up. And if you have a specific rule set that can follow artificial intelligence, or that can follow based upon EAs, then we can provide you an EA that meets your criteria for a small fee. We can sit down and work with you on setting that up to automatically trade your strategy using an EA on the MT4 platform or the MT5 platform. And we can make it so that it follows your money management rules for a percentage of total money trades. So contact us at support@mt4professional.com, and we'll be glad to discuss with you the criteria needed to create your custom EA to follow your rules. The notifications will be shown in a pop-up window. Yes, there'll be a pop-up window. There will be the notifications panel within the terminal. So if you were to open up your terminal window, you can see your notifications that are listed here. And you also will see the notifications on the website under MT4Professional.com. So if you go to the website, then here is the icon that shows you all the notifications. And so any notification that you would get would also show up here as well as a screen pop-up, or if you've configured it, you'll get an SMS configuration notification as well. Absolutely. All right, that's about it for today's time. So thank you very much for joining me. It's been my pleasure to be your host today. If you have any other questions with regards to MT4Professional or what MT4Professional can do for you, get your own 14-day free trial right now at mt4professional.com/trial, or contact us at support@mt4professional.com. We'll be glad to answer any of your questions and to help you get onboarding and to get started up and quickly as quickly as you can. I'll be here exactly 2 weeks from today for another session of MT4Professional's Q&A. Thank you for your time and attention. Bye for now.